The red blade pierced Qui-Gon's stomach. He collapsed to the floor, gasping, but the strike had missed his vital organs by mere inches. Obi-Wan screamed in fury, cutting Darth Maul in half moments later. He rushed to his master's side, cradling the wounded Jedi as medical droids arrived. Qui-Gon survived. Weeks later, still recovering in the Jedi Temple's healing chambers, Qui-Gon made his choice. The Council had debated Anakin's fate endlessly. Master Yoda sensed fear in the boy. Mace Windu cited the code. They would not train him, but Qui-Gon would. "The boy is the chosen one," he told the Council, his voice still weak but unwavering. "The Force brought me to him for a reason. I will train him, with or without your blessing." The Council chamber fell silent. Yoda's ears drooped. Mace leaned forward, his expression hard. "You defy this Council openly, Qui-Gon?" "I follow the will of the Force," Qui-Gon replied, "as I always have." After hours of debate, the Council reluctantly agreed, but only under strict conditions. Qui-Gon would be responsible for any failure. Anakin would be watched closely. One misstep, and the boy's training would end. Qui-Gon accepted. He found Anakin in the temple gardens, staring up at the Coruscant skyline. The boy looked lost, afraid he'd be sent back to Tatooine. "Pack your things, Anakin," Qui-Gon said with a warm smile. "You're my Padawan now." Anakin's eyes lit up. "Really, Master Qui-Gon? I promise I won't let you down." "I know you won't." Qui-Gon placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. "But I need you to understand something. The Council fears your emotions. I do not. I will teach you to feel deeply, to love freely, and to never let fear control you." Anakin nodded, though he didn't fully understand yet. He would, in time. But first, Qui-Gon had to undo years of Jedi dogma, and that would be harder than defeating any Sith. The red blade pierced Qui-Gon's stomach. He collapsed to the floor, gasping. But the strike had missed his vital organs by mere inches. Obi-Wan screamed in fury, cutting Darth Maul in half moments later. He rushed to his master's side, cradling the wounded Jedi as medical droids arrived. Qui-Gon survived. Weeks later, still recovering in the Jedi Temple's healing chambers, Qui-Gon made his choice. The Council had debated Anakin's fate endlessly. Master Yoda sensed fear in the boy. Mace Windu cited the code. They would not train him, but Qui-Gon would. "The boy is the chosen one," he told the Council, his voice still weak but unwavering. "The Force brought me to him for a reason. I will train him, with or without your blessing." The Council chamber fell silent. Yoda's ears drooped. Mace leaned forward, his expression hard. "You defy this Council openly, Qui-Gon?" "I follow the will of the Force," Qui-Gon replied, "as I always have." After hours of debate, the Council reluctantly agreed, but only under strict conditions. Qui-Gon would be responsible for any failure. Anakin would be watched closely. One misstep, and the boy's training would end. Qui-Gon accepted. He found Anakin in the temple gardens, staring up at the Coruscant skyline. The boy looked lost, afraid he'd be sent back to Tatooine. "Pack your things, Anakin," Qui-Gon said with a warm smile. "You're my Padawan now." Anakin's eyes lit up. "Really, Master Qui-Gon? I promise I won't let you down." "I know you won't." Qui-Gon placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. "But I need you to understand something. The Council fears your emotions. I do not. I will teach you to feel deeply, to love freely, and to never let fear control you." Anakin nodded, though he didn't fully understand yet. He would, in time. But first, Qui-Gon had to undo years of Jedi dogma, and that would be harder than defeating any Sith. Qui-Gon's training was unlike anything the Jedi Order had ever practiced. While other younglings meditated in silence, learning to empty their minds, Anakin sat with his master beneath the temple's sacred tree, talking openly about his mother, his fears, his anger. "The Council teaches that emotions lead to the dark side," Anakin said one afternoon, frustrated after another disapproving glance from Master Windu. "They say I should let go of my attachments." Qui-Gon shook his head. They misunderstand the Force, Anakin. Emotion is not your enemy. Fear of your emotions is, I don't understand. You love your mother. That love is pure. But if you let the fear of losing her control you, if you make desperate choices out of that fear, then you fall. Love itself does not lead to darkness. Fear does. Anakin absorbed this, piece by piece. Qui-Gon taught him to feel anger without acting on it recklessly, to acknowledge sadness without drowning in it, to love without clinging so tightly that he suffocated what he cherished. It was a careful balance. But Anakin began to master it. Years passed. Anakin grew stronger, wiser, more centered than Qui-Gon had dared hope. He sparred with other Padawans and won not through rage, but through clarity. He studied the Force not as a tool to suppress himself, but as a river to move with. The Council watched him closely. Some, like Yoda, saw promise. Others, like Mace Windu, saw danger. A Jedi who embraced emotion was unpredictable, uncontrollable, but Qui-Gon had faith. Then, one evening, Anakin received a message. A smuggler from Tatooine brought word. His mother had been freed from slavery, but she was in danger. Tusken Raiders were raiding settlements near Mos Espa. Anakin's hands trembled as he read the message. Qui-Gon placed a steady hand on his shoulder. What do you feel, my Padawan? Fear. Anakin whispered. Fear and love. Then we go to Tatooine, Qui-Gon said calmly. Together. Anakin was 20 years old when he saw Padme again. She had become one of the Republic's most powerful senators, fighting tirelessly against corruption and the growing separatist threat. Anakin had become a promising Jedi Knight, still learning under Qui-Gon's watchful eye. Their reunion on Naboo was electric. They walked through the lakeside gardens where they'd first met years ago. The conversation flowed easily. Politics, the Force, memories of simpler times. But beneath it all, something deeper stirred. I've thought about you, Padme admitted, her voice soft. More than I should have. Anakin stopped walking. His heart pounded. In the old Jedi way, he would have buried this feeling, denied it, let it fester into obsession. But Qui-Gon had taught him differently. I love you, Padme, Anakin said simply. I always have. She looked at him, surprised by his honesty. Anakin, you're a Jedi. The code is a guide, not a prison, he replied, echoing Qui-Gon's words. My master taught me that love is not the enemy, fear is. And I'm not afraid to love you. Padme's eyes glistened. She stepped closer, taking his hand. Then I'm not afraid either. When Anakin returned to Coruscant, he went straight to Qui-Gon. He expected judgment, warnings, perhaps even disappointment. Instead, Qui-Gon smiled. You told her the truth. Good. Secrecy breeds fear, and fear breeds darkness. If you love her, Anakin, do so openly, with honor. Never let that love make you desperate or possessive. That is the balance. The Council won't approve, Anakin said. The Council doesn't need to control every aspect of your life, Qui-Gon replied. You are a Jedi, yes, but you are also a man. Live as both. For the first time, Anakin felt truly free, but the galaxy was shifting. War was coming, and Palpatine was watching. The Battle of Geonosis ignited the Clone Wars. Anakin fought alongside Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and hundreds of Jedi as the Republic's new clone army clashed with separatist droids. Lightsabers blazed, gunships roared overhead. The galaxy plunged into chaos. But while other Jedi struggled with the morality of war, Anakin did not. He understood his purpose. Protect the innocent. Defend the Republic. Fight with honor. There was no confusion, no crushing guilt over taking lives in battle. Qui-Gon had taught him that a Jedi could be a warrior without losing their soul as long as they never fought out of hatred or fear. Anakin became a legend. On Christophsis, he led clone troopers through impossible odds and won. On Ryloth, he freed enslaved Twi'leks from separatist control. On Umbara, he exposed a traitorous general before more lives were lost. The clones loved him. The Republic celebrated him. Even the Council, grudgingly, respected him. And through it all, Padme was his anchor. They married in secret, not out of shame, but out of practicality. The Senate and the public weren't ready for a Jedi senator's wife. But Qui-Gon knew. Obi-Wan knew. And they supported him. "You're more balanced than I've ever seen you," Obi-Wan said one night aboard a Republic cruiser. "Whatever Qui-Gon taught you, it worked." Anakin smiled. "He taught me that I don't have to choose between being a Jedi and being human. I can be both." But not everyone was pleased with Anakin's success. In the shadows of Coruscant, Supreme Chancellor Palpatine watched the young Jedi's rise with growing concern. His plans had always relied on Anakin's inner turmoil, his fear, his anger, his desperation. But this Anakin had none of that. Palpatine realized he would need a new strategy. A darker one. Palpatine had been patient. For years, he'd positioned himself as Anakin's friend, mentor, and confidant. He whispered doubts about the Jedi Council. He praised Anakin's strength. He planted seeds of ambition and resentment, but the seeds never took root. Finally, Palpatine decided to accelerate his plan. Using the dark side, he sent Anakin visions terrible, vivid nightmares of Padme dying in childbirth, screaming his name as life drained from her body. Anakin woke in a cold sweat, but he did not panic. He went to Qui-Gon. "I've had visions," Anakin said, his voice steady but concerned. "Padme, she dies." "I see it clearly." Qui-Gon placed a hand on his shoulder. "The future is always in motion, Anakin. Visions show possibilities, not certainties. What do you feel when you see these images?" Anakin paused, searching inward. Fear, but also clarity. "I know what I need to do. I'll protect her. I'll be there for her. But I won't let fear control me." Qui-Gon nodded, proud. "Then you've already won." Days later, Palpatine summoned Anakin to his office. The Chancellor's tone was grave, fatherly. "Anakin, I sense your fear. Your wife is in danger, isn't she?" Anakin's eyes narrowed. "How did you know about Padme?" Palpatine smiled softly. "I know many things, my boy, and I can help you save her. There is a power, a pathway to abilities some consider unnatural." Anakin stared at him, realization dawning. "You're talking about the dark side. I'm talking about saving the one you love." Anakin stood slowly, his hand drifting toward his lightsaber. "You're a Sith." Palpatine's smile faded. His yellow eyes gleamed. "I am the solution to your problem, Anakin. Without me, she dies." "No," Anakin said firmly. "Without you, she lives." He ignited his blade. Anakin's lightsaber hummed, inches from Palpatine's throat. "You're making a mistake," Palpatine said calmly, his hands raised. "I only want to help you, Anakin. The Jedi are planning to overthrow the Republic. They fear my power." "And yours." "You're lying." "Am I?" Palpatine's voice was smooth, hypnotic. "Why do you think the Council never trusted you? Why did they deny you the rank of Master? They fear what you could become. They want to control you." Anakin hesitated. The words stung, because part of them felt true. The door burst open. "One, Kos. Dot. Anakin." Qui-Gon rushed in, flanked by Mace Windu and Obi-Wan. "Anakin, step away from him," Qui-Gon commanded. Palpatine's expression shifted to one of wounded innocence. "Master Jinn, you've come to execute me without a trial? How very Sith-like. We know what you are," Mace said coldly. "Darth Sidious, the Sith Lord orchestrating this war." Palpatine laughed softly. "Prove it. You have no evidence, only fear and suspicion. You've become the very thing you swore to destroy." Qui-Gon stepped forward, holding a datapad. "We have recordings, communications between you and Count Dooku, orders to prolong the war, plans to execute the Jedi." Anakin looked at his master, then at Palpatine. His mind raced. "Anakin," Palpatine said gently, "if they arrest me, the Senate will revolt. The Republic will collapse. And Padme, her vision of democracy dies with me. You know this." "Don't listen to him," Qui-Gon urged. "He's manipulating you." "This is exactly what he does. He feeds on doubt and fear." Anakin's blade wavered. He had been taught to trust his instincts, to feel the Force. He reached out, sensing both men. Qui-Gon radiated calm, truth, and love. Palpatine radiated hunger. Anakin made his choice. He turned his blade toward Palpatine. You lose. Lightning exploded from Palpatine's hands. Anakin raised his lightsaber, deflecting the torrent of energy. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan moved in from the sides. Mace Windu attacked head-on, his purple blade a blur. Palpatine moved like a demon. His lightsaber appeared in his hand, red and blazing. He was faster, stronger, more vicious than any of them had imagined. Foolish Jedi, Palpatine snarled, his face twisted with rage. You cannot stop the dark side. But Anakin did not waver. He felt no fear, no anger, only purpose. Qui-Gon's voice echoed in his mind. Feel the Force, Anakin. Let it flow through you. Anakin centered himself. The battle slowed in his perception. He saw Palpatine's movements before they happened. He anticipated every strike, every burst of lightning, and then he saw his opening. Palpatine lunged at Mace. Anakin surged forward, his blade cutting through the Sith Lord's defenses. The red lightsaber clattered to the floor. Palpatine collapsed, defeated but alive. You've made a grave mistake, Palpatine hissed, his voice weak. The Senate will not believe you. I am their beloved Chancellor. Qui-Gon activated a holoprojector. Then let them hear your own words. The recordings played. Palpatine's voice, cold and calculating, ordering separatist attacks, commanding the clone army, planning the extermination of the Jedi. The evidence was undeniable. Within hours, the Senate convened. Palpatine was arrested. Emergency powers were revoked. Bail Organa and Mon Mothma led the effort to restore true democracy. The separatists, leaderless and confused, began to surrender. The Clone Wars were ending, not with the fall of the Jedi, but with their triumph. Anakin stood on the Senate balcony beside Padme, watching the sun set over Coruscant. She rested her hand on her growing belly. It's over, she whispered. Anakin smiled. No, it's just beginning. The war was over, but the real work was just beginning. Anakin Skywalker stood in the Jedi Council chambers, looking out over the sprawling cityscape of Coruscant. Smoke still rose from distant districts damaged in the final battle. The Republic had survived, barely. But it was wounded, and so was the Jedi Order. The Council had lost members. Master Windu had been injured in the fight against Palpatine. Master Yoda, ancient and weary, had begun to question the path the Jedi had walked for centuries. Failed, we have, Yoda admitted in a rare moment of vulnerability. Blind to the darkness we were, too rigid, too certain. Qui-Gon Jinn, now recovered and standing as a full council member, nodded solemnly. The Order has survived, but it must change. If we continue as we were, another Sidious will rise. And next time, we may not be so fortunate. Anakin stepped forward. Anakin. He was no longer the uncertain boy from Tatooine, nor the conflicted Padawan struggling with his emotions. He was a Jedi Knight, a hero of the Republic, and most importantly, a man who had found balance. The Jedi Code isn't wrong, Anakin said carefully, his voice steady. But the way we've interpreted it is, we've taught generations to fear their emotions, to suppress love, to see attachment as weakness. That fear, that rigidity, it's what almost destroyed us. Obi-Wan, now a master in his own right, listened thoughtfully. What do you propose? Anakin glanced at Qui-Gon, who gave him an encouraging nod. We teach balance, Anakin continued. We stop pretending that Jedi aren't human. Or Twi'lek, or Togruta, or any other species. We have emotions. We form bonds. We love. That's not a weakness. It's what makes us strong. It's what connects us to the living force. Love led to Anakin's strength, Qui-Gon added. It did not corrupt him because he was taught to understand it, to channel it, to never let it turn into possessive fear. That is the lesson we must carry forward. Master Yoda closed his eyes, deep in meditation. When he opened them again, there was a glimmer of hope. Wisdom in your words. There is, young Skywalker, a new path the Order must walk. The Reformation began slowly, carefully. The Jedi Council issued new guidance. Padawans would still be trained in discipline, but also in emotional intelligence. They would learn to meditate, not to empty themselves, but to understand themselves. Attachment would no longer be forbidden, only attachment rooted in fear and possessiveness. Jedi were allowed to marry, to have families, to love openly. The change was controversial. Older Jedi struggled with it. Some left the order entirely, unable to accept the new teachings. But many younger Jedi embraced it. They had seen what the old ways had cost. They had watched Anakin Skywalker stand against the darkness, not by denying his humanity, but by embracing it. Anakin himself became a symbol of the new Jedi Order. He and Padme's relationship became public. The galaxy watched as the Chosen One stood beside his wife, a senator and a Jedi united in purpose. When their twins Luke and Leia were born, the Force sang with joy. Anakin raised his children not in secrecy or shame, but in love and light. He taught them the Force as Qui-Gon had taught him, as a partner, not a master. As a river to flow with, not a chain to bind. Qui-Gon watched his former Padawan with immense pride. The gamble he'd taken all those years ago on Naboo, the defiance of the Council, the belief in a slave boy from a desert world, had paid off beyond his wildest dreams. "You've done well, Anakin," Qui-Gon said one evening as they walked through the temple gardens. "Better than I ever imagined." Anakin smiled. "I had a good teacher." "And now you're the teacher," Qui-Gon replied. "A new generation of Jedi will follow your example. They'll be stronger for it. More compassionate, more human." Years passed. The galaxy healed. The Jedi Order, once rigid and dogmatic, became a beacon of wisdom and compassion. They served the Republic not as emotionless warriors, but as guardians who understood the people they protected. They loved, they laughed, they mourned, they lived. Anakin eventually took a seat on the council, not as a conflicted and resentful member, but as a respected elder. He trained Padawans, passing on Qui-Gon's teachings. He fought when necessary, but always sought peace first. And through it all, he remained balanced. He felt anger at injustice, at cruelty, but never let it control him. He felt love for Padme, for his children, for his friends, but never let it become desperate obsession. He felt fear for the future, for those he cared about, but never let it drive his choices. He was the chosen one, the one who brought balance. But the balance was not what the old prophecies had predicted. It was not destruction. It was not the eradication of the Sith through violence. It was evolution, growth, transformation. The Jedi Order had been reborn, and with it, hope for the galaxy. On a warm evening on Naboo, Anakin stood on the same lakeside terrace where he and Padme had confessed their love years before. His children played nearby Luke, strong and curious, already sensing the Force. Leia, fierce and brilliant, already showing signs of leadership. Padme joined him, slipping her hand into his. "Do you ever wonder what would have happened?" she asked softly. "If Qui-Gon hadn't survived? If you'd been trained differently?" Anakin considered the question. He thought of the visions he'd once had, dark, twisted futures, where he fell, where he became something monstrous. "I think," he said slowly, "the galaxy would be a much darker place." She squeezed his hand. "Then we're lucky." "No," Anakin replied, looking out at the sunset. "We're balanced.